Julian Assange, welcome to the project.
G'day, Waleed.
Tell us about your tour.
Well, I understand that on February 18, I'm speaking at the Melbourne Town Hall, February 19 at the ICC in Sydney, and you can get tickets at thinkinc.org.au.
And so why are you doing it? What should we expect from this tour?
Well, it's been a while since I've spoken to the Australian public, but also it's pretty difficult to earn a living when you're detained illegally in an embassy for 4.5 years.
Well, you sought asylum there, and that's where you are. Incidentally, what would you do with any money that you had when you're in an embassy?
Well, we have WikiLeaks is pretty expensive worldwide operation to run. Then we have about 12 different legal cases. About 5 of those we have taken against the FBI, against credit card companies and so on. And then, of course, it's quite expensive to maintain all our journalistic staff, servers, etc.
All right, so it's fundraising effectively for WikiLeaks and its operations. Is that right?
And I haven't taken a salary also since 2011.
Actually, just
other staff have, but I haven't.
Right. Okay. Just completely out of curiosity, by the way, what is life like in the Ecuadorian embassy?
I don't know. I mean, I have absolutely no sense of perspective, as you can imagine. I guess I'm blessed to the extent that my mind is outside the embassy. My mind is with our publications and different battles in relation to our sources. There's an amazing victory we had with the Chelsea Manning clemency, US election. So I mean, as an intellectual life, my life is very rich. The family life, of course, it's extremely poor.
You mentioned Chelsea Manning there, and you've confirmed that you will leave the embassy when she's eventually granted clemency. At what point will you leave the embassy? Like, what do you mean when you say when she's granted clemency? What are you waiting for exactly?
Well, this is not the right kind of approach. Let's pull back a bit. There has been an outrageous, unconstitutional case going against me, other WikiLeaks staff, and Chelsea Manning since 2010. The disproportionality of that case has now been established at the presidential level. Manning was sentenced to 35 years in prison, tortured in prison, according to Juan Mendez, the Special Rapporteur on Torture, and now has been ordered to be given clemency in May in the outgoing Barack Obama administration. Barack Obama could have done that 4 years ago, could have done that 2 years ago, could have done that 1 year ago, waited until the very end. There's various political reasons for that, which I don't need to go into. But it comes about as a result of an intense campaign led by us, by his lawyers. Amnesty International Spain eventually brought in, very interesting example of a regional Amnesty International office pulling in a more conservative headquarters based here in London into a very important campaign. So it's a outrageous bullshit case against a publisher, violation of the First Amendment, et cetera, et cetera. We say the thing should have been dropped years ago, should be dropped right now. It should have been dropped under the Obama administration, should be dropped under the Trump administration. But so far, it's not been dropped. So what do? Well, I was willing to do anything possible to try and encourage Barack Obama to do the right thing and to give Chelsea Manning a clemency, which he did in the end for a variety of reasons. Now, part of that encouragement is preventing Democrats who are still upset that we exposed what Hillary Clinton said behind the scenes during the election campaign. So let's look at it from their perspective. If we give Chelsea Manning clemency, what's the result? That seems like it's a favor to WikiLeaks. But we don't want to do WikiLeaks a favor because they really kicked us in the teeth during the election. Okay, but it's going to make life hard for Assange because either he's going to get extradited to the United States or we're going to show he's a liar. And And both of those things are going to make life hard for Assange, and therefore it's okay to pardon Chelsea Manning, and that's what happened. Now, going forward, of course, we want to engage with the US case because it continues on forever. So from my perspective, it's better to engage with the US case, have a discussion with the DOJ. What are you going to do with this case? Are you going to keep it going? Am I going to have to stay here in the embassy forever? Or is there some way that you guys can drop it? Or can we look at under what circumstances I would be extradited to the United States? So that's what we're trying to do.
Right. So when you said that you would leave the embassy if Chelsea Manning was granted clemency, it sounds like what you really meant was you will leave the embassy if you can come to terms with them about your case. Nothing really to do with Chelsea Manning.
In the end, Barack Obama, wanting, I guess, to look tough, said that my offer had nothing to do with Chelsea Manning being granted clemency. So there's no quid pro quo. Manning's getting clemency.
But on your side, you said that if Chelsea Manning was released, then you would leave. You would leave the embassy. She is, or at least will be.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said that I would accept extradition to the United States.
Right. Same thing. So I don't understand why now it seems contingent on striking some kind of deal with the United States about their case against you. You didn't mention that before.
Because I'm not an idiot. I'm not a complete idiot. We had a major strategic victory in liberating Chelsea Manning, the most significant alleged whistleblower in the last 10 years. Edward Snowden says that he was inspired by Chelsea Manning. So, look, I'm not an idiot. I understand that we have to do certain things to encourage the Democrats and in the Barack Obama administration to do the right thing, which they should have done anyway, without any kind of encouragement from me to do so. Now, I felt that they needed encouragement, so I've encouraged them. But of course, saying I'm willing to accept extradition doesn't mean I'm saying that I'm willing to be a complete idiot and throw all my lawyers away and so on. No, we're going to have a discussion with the DOJ about what that looks like. The ball is in their court to come forward to us. They haven't responded to our letter yet under the new administration and say, well, actually, we think we want to extradite you for this and this and this in this particular way. We make a commitment. Your rights were respected here and here and here and here. So that's the discussion we need to have.
You mentioned.
And I believe the new political context is such that having granted Chelsea Manning clemency, there's a political signal from the Obama administration. What does that political signal say? It says that the case against WikiLeaks was wrong. It was wrong against Chelsea Manning. And if it's wrong against the alleged source or excessive against the alleged source, then sure as hell it's excessive against the publisher.
You mentioned the hacked material from the Democrats, the emails that cost Hillary Clinton so dearly in the election. The intelligence community in the United States is highly confident that this was a hack that was from Russia and provided to you. You've denied that all along. Can you be 100% certain there was no involvement from anyone connected to the Russian state at any stage in the chain of transmission to you?
Well, I'm not playing 20 questions with our sources. We are a source protection organization. We have managed to protect us revealing any information leading to the arrest of our sources. We have a perfect record in doing that. And even for alleged sources such as Chelsea Manning that have allegedly told other people that they were a source who were informants, nothing to do with us, and gotten busted that way, we have gone in boots and all to defend those people. I founded, together with the late Gavin McFadden, the Courage Foundation that specializes in defending sources from a variety of media organizations, including Edward Snowden. So I'm not playing 20 questions about the sources. I can state clearly and have stated clearly that our source is not a member of the Russian government.
Right, but just to be clear, that is not the same thing I'm not expecting you to reveal your source, but that is not the same thing.
No, but you're shifting goalposts.
No, I'm not shifting goalposts. I'm just asking.
I know you're not doing it in particular, but goalposts have been shifted. So first there was a demand, did you get this from the Russian government? No, we didn't. We don't like talking about our sources, but neither do we like a situation arising which distracts from our publications and creates a kind of hysteria that could lead to war. We need to be realistic.
No, but you understand, of course, that it's relevant whether or not the Russians were trying to get a particular result in the United States election. That's not necessarily about your operation. It's just relevant. And so I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
You're not saying that you can be sure that there was no involvement from the Russian state from beginning to end. You're only saying that your source, the person who handed these to you, was not from the Russian state. Am I right?
I'm not saying anything else other than what we have said, because we can't play 20 questions about our sources. We can't eliminate this, eliminate that. If we display knowledge about a particular thing that can reveal the type of interaction that we have with our sources, for example, even just displaying knowledge about what's in, what's out, what we know, what we don't know, etc., displays a particular type of interaction which can be used by intelligence services to reconstruct telecommunications. Remember, I'm an embassy here that has a $20 million spy operation, $6 million a year being spent on it by the British. So it's a very serious situation to try and protect sources and to not drop little hints about what might be included and what might be not included. Every serious journalist, you'll get exactly the same response from. I'm not talking about sources other than this established fact. That's it.
Well, I only asked the question because you said you were 1,000% sure that it wasn't from the Russian state, and I'm trying to clarify exactly what that means. But I do take your point.
I didn't say. I would never use. Look, I was trained in mathematics. I have a scientific perspective. I don't use phrases like 1,000% sure. Sure, Trump might do that. Sean Hannity might do that. It's colourful. I understand why. Okay. I just said it. Yeah, I'm sure.
Sure. All right. Do you care about the motive of whoever it was that leaked this information to you?
Well, I have an understanding. We understand our publications. We understand a lot of things about our publications. But in the end, that's not a question for us to talk about publicly because we're a source protection organization. It's fine for other journalists to speculate on that. That can be interesting. I always like people when they see official quoted by New York Times, for example. What official? Why is he coming there? Why does he need anonymity? Why does he need protection?
I understand that point, but I'm just interested in whether or not you care about their motivation.
Plant? Are we talking about an official plant when you see official blah blah? And there's been a lot of that from the CIA in the past few weeks. That people should question and talk about it. They can do that with us. It's fine, but it's not our place to kind of speculate or tell stories about who our sources are.
No, I'm not asking you to tell stories about them. I'm just interested as a matter of principle for you. Do you care about what the motivation of the leaker in a case like this is?
We care. We care in a variety of different, it can vary, but we care, obviously internally, to understand what processes we're engaged in. It can help with verification and so on. So we have a rich understanding of our publications, but that's not something that we can talk about, obviously, because we're a source protection organization with a perfect record. We also have a perfect record in authenticating what we publish. And let's be realistic about this debate in the United States. What exactly is being said? What is being said is that, that the words of Hillary Clinton that we published, her own words, and the words of her campaign manager, his own words, that is what flipped the election, their own words. The American people listened to their words and didn't like it. That's what's been argued about.
Is it a strange situation that you find yourself in now, being someone who's celebrated by people who, like Donald Trump, previously said that you should have been executed by being celebrated by Sarah Palin, Sean Hannity, those members on the right that once upon a time deemed you public enemy number one?
It's pretty funny. I mean, I have mixed views about it. I mean, politics makes the impossible possible. Politics made the impossible in jurisprudence terms of Chelsea Manning getting a pardon. That was politics. Politics also permits Sarah Palin, it's a big surprise to me, but permitted her to do the right thing. And it was the right thing to do. It was right for her to apologize, to say that I should be hunted down like the Taliban. It was big of her to do that. Why was it big of her to do that? Well, we had published her emails in 2008. We had published them. She was trying to avoid, it seems, the Alaskan Freedom of Information Act by having a private email account. We published that. She mentioned that in her apology. She also said that people should go out and see the Edward Snowden film. Very interesting, because Edward Snowden hasn't allegedly done them any favors in the election. So that's a very interesting shift of perspective about the relationship between the national security state in the United States and popular politics, popular Republican Party politics. She did the right thing. She did the right thing. She should be applauded for doing the right thing. Is it kind of hypocritical for those people to some of them, they're not particularly bad, but there's been some others in the new Trump cabinet. Is it kind of hypocritical for them to do that? Sure, of course. But on the other hand, they have moved forward into a better position to the position that they were in. And I think objectively, we can say that that was the right thing to do. Has it been hypocritical for Democrats in the United States to go from applauding our publications about Bush to being utterly savage and disgusting about our publications about Clinton? Of course it's hypocritical. That's politics.
Julian Assange, I'm told we're rapidly running out of time. Just one final question. You're clearly not a fan of Hillary Clinton. Is it personal with you and her?
No, it's not. She fit a particular position within the professional neoliberal establishment of Washington, D.C. I mean, that's if she wasn't in that slot, someone else would be in that slot. I have thought about this question. What do I think about Hillary Clinton as a person? Actually, I think she's a bit like me in some ways. She's a bit wonkish, you know. She's a little bit awkward. She likes a fight. She keeps going. In some ways, she's a bit like me. But so I think I would rather get along with her. On the other hand, there is something in particular that you can't quite get past. It doesn't matter what the personality is like. If someone is a war criminal, if someone has deliberately, intentionally, for political advantage, attacked and destroyed a state, in the case of Libya, which she led the effort to do that. Obama had opposed it. She pushed back. It ends up killing 40,000 people, winding back women's rights by hundreds of years in the Middle East. Those arms ended up being spread into Syria, leading to the Syrian catastrophe, which he also backed, etc. I think you have to say that crosses a line. That you can't kind of go, no, she's just kind of working it. She's doing her job. When the person is involved in intentionally, deliberately, for political advantage, making a decision to kill tens of thousands of people. Now, it led to events that ended up killing hundreds of thousands of people, producing millions of refugees, destabilizing Europe and leading to Brexit. That's what it led to. But she wouldn't have known that. But she did know that it would quickly, within months, lead to the deaths of tens of thousands of people in Libya, and went ahead anyway.
Julian Assange, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Waleed.